Let's get right into it.
Number 7.
The 7-day week.
You'd think something as basic as a calendar would be designed with actual logic. Nope. The 7-day week is basically a cosmic accident that's stuck like gum under humanity's shoe. The ancient Babylonians looked up at the sky and thought, hey, there are 7 visible celestial bodies: Sun, Moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, Saturn. Perfect! Let's build our lives around that. And just like that, every single Monday morning for the rest of eternity was ruined. Think about it. A week could have been 5 days. That's work 3, rest 2. A week could have been 10 days. That's a longer stretch of productivity followed by a massive party weekend. But no, some guy with a beard 3,000 years ago decided 7 was the magic number. And it stuck so hard that even cultures with completely different calendars, Egyptians, Mayans, whoever, eventually got bullied into this cosmic group project. Even the Romans, who adored order and math, just shrugged and said, fine, 7 it is. Christianity and Judaism picked it up, Islam too, and boom, suddenly you're in 2025, still setting alarms for a work week that's literally older than sliced bread, indoor plumbing, and the concept of socks. So next time you're groaning on a Monday morning, don't blame your boss. Blame ancient stargazers who thought 7 was just vibey. Your exhaustion is basically a Babylonian hangover.
Number 6.
Marriage contracts.
Nothing screams romance like an ancient legal agreement about who owns your goats. The idea of marriage as this deep soul-binding connection, that's modern marketing. The original version was less Nicholas Sparks and more Game of Thrones. In Mesopotamia, marriage contracts were like shopping receipts. Here's your wife in exchange for 3 cows, a plot of land, and eternal family feuds. And those rules didn't just disappear, they evolved into the legal maze of modern marriage. Why do divorce lawyers exist? Why do you need paperwork to love someone? Why do tax breaks care about your ring finger? Because 3,000 years ago, some king thought, controlling property through family ties will make society stable. Spoiler, it didn't make things stable. It made things complicated. And somehow, even in 2025, you still can't just shake hands and say, we are married now. Nope. Government forms, licenses, witnesses, prenups, it's like a side quest nobody asked for. So while you're stuck arguing about where to hang the wedding photos, remember you're reenacting a Bronze Age tradition that started with sheep trading. Basically, your marriage is sponsored by Mesopotamian paperwork. Sexy, right?
Number 5. Inheritance laws.
Imagine grinding your whole life, stacking coins, land, or maybe just a decent stash of Pokemon cards, only for ancient law to dictate who actually gets it when you're gone. Inheritance laws started as a way to keep family wealth pure, which is code for, sorry, youngest son, enjoy poverty because your older brother gets literally everything. This delightful concept, known as primogeniture, was big in Europe. Basically, the firstborn son was the human version of a you win button, while the rest of the siblings got demoted to side characters in their own family saga. And guess what? A watered-down version still shapes your life. Why do families today still end up in screaming matches over grandma's house? Why do lawyers get rich just by settling estates? Because thousands of years ago, someone decided humans should be divided into heirs and extras. Even Shakespeare mocked it. The guy wrote King Lear, an entire play about a king screwing up inheritance laws and creating family drama so spicy, it makes Thanksgiving dinner look like a yoga retreat. So yeah, inheritance laws were never about fairness. They were about power. And now, in 2025, you're still dealing with siblings fighting over dad's old pickup truck like it's the Iron Throne. Ancient law strikes again.
Number 4.
The 40-hour work weeks. Here's a fun fact nobody asked for. The idea that humans should labor for most of their waking lives comes straight out of ancient agricultural societies. When farming started, humans went from wandering around, occasionally stabbing a deer, to spending dawn to dusk bent over wheat fields. And once rulers realized Oh, these peasants can work non-stop if we guilt them into it. Boom! Welcome to the early prototype of your job. Fast forward to the Industrial Revolution, and factory owners basically said, "Cool, let's lock people inside buildings for 12 to 16 hours." Eventually, unions fought for something reasonable, which is how we landed at today's magical number, 40. 40 hours! As if some cosmic accountant decided that's the line between healthy work ethic and soul-crushing burnout. But the truth? That number isn't scientific. It isn't based on human biology or productivity. It's just another ancient hangover from farming society mixed with industrial capitalism. And somehow, instead of asking, shouldn't we, work less? We keep defending it like a sacred relic. So when your boss says, it's just a standard work week, remember, you're not a cog in a machine. You're a farmer reincarnated into office clothes, still trapped in a schedule designed by weed fields and factory whistles.
Number 3. Trial by oath.
Picture this. You're in ancient court, accused of stealing a goat. No cameras, no fingerprints, no CSI Mesopotamia. Instead, the judge goes, "Swear you didn't do it. If you lie, the gods will curse you." That's it. Case closed. This little gem, called trial by oath, basically turned justice into a divine trust fall. People believed the gods were sitting in the jury box, ready to hurl lightning bolts at liars. Which is hilarious because lightning never showed up. But humans are really good at lying to themselves, so the system carried on. Fast forward to today, and guess what? We still drag that ritual into modern courts. You've seen it. The raised right hand, the "do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?" Yeah, that's literally trial by oath. Except instead of Zeus frying you with a thunderbolt, you just risk perjury charges and some prison time. And sure, it looks official and serious, but the origin is basically ancient people saying, if they're lying, the gods will handle it. We're still pretending this sacred hand-raising ritual has magical weight, when in reality, it's just courtroom cosplay left over from the Bronze Age. So next time you see someone swearing on a Bible in court, remember, you're watching a 4,000-year-old superstition dressed up in a suit.
Number 2.
Taxes, aka humanity's greatest scam.
You know that moment when you check your paycheck and realize the government took a chunk of your money before you even touched it? Yeah, thank ancient rulers for inventing that cheerful tradition. Taxes started as tributes, literal protection money to kings, chiefs, or emperors. Pay us grain, cows, or coins, and in return, we won't burn down your village. Nice deal, right? And somehow, that system never went away. It just got better PR. Instead of calling it tribute, we now call it taxation. Slap a national flag on it and pretend it's noble. Ancient Egypt had taxes for everything: cattle, harvests, even beer. In medieval times, England charged people a tax for having windows. Yes, windows. Don't want to pay? Cool, live in the dark. And today, governments still invent new fees, like Netflix invents subscription tiers. Road tax, sales tax, income tax, phone tax, tax on taxes. It's endless. The best part? The whole idea that paying taxes guarantees protection or benefits is sketchy at best. People have been rebelling against them since forever. Boston Tea Party, French Revolution, modern Twitter rants, it's all the same vibe. So, congratulations. Every time you complain about taxes, you're spiritually bonding with a Babylonian farmer who was also pissed about handing over half his barley to the king. Humanity's longest-running group project.
Number 1. Beauty standard.
You'd think fashion magazines and TikTok invented unrealistic beauty standards, but nope, that curse is ancient. Thousands of years ago, different cultures cooked up their own bizarre rules about what made someone attractive, and we're still haunted by them today. Ancient China had foot binding, where girls' feet were broken and bound to stay tiny, because apparently painful, deformed feet were the height of elegance. Ancient Greece, they were obsessed with symmetry and pale skin, because looking like a marble statue was the ultimate flex. Ancient Egypt thought eyeliner so thick it could survive a sandstorm was mandatory, not optional. And while the specific trends have shifted, the logic hasn't changed. Society decides what's beautiful, and then humans will literally torture themselves to match it. Today it's crash diets, Botox, and Facetune filters, but the psychology is ancient. Beauty equals status, survival, and power. It's basically social Darwinism wearing lipstick. What's really wild is how these standards never die, they just get recycled. Corsets became waist trainers. Kohl eyeliner became Sephora aisles. Cleopatra walked so Instagram influencers could run. So yeah, when you feel crushed by impossible beauty standards, remember, you're carrying the same burden as someone in ancient Mesopotamia who was probably panicking about whether their hair braids were in season. Different millennium, same insecurity. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.